Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Mystics Achieves. The true greatness of human thought isn't just measured by what it says, but by what it can grasp and internalize. Baruch Spinoza offered us not a distant, vengeful, or unreachable God, but something radically different. Something that, if deeply understood, can transform how we see the universe, nature, and life itself. But who was Baruch Spinoza, and what exactly did he mean by God? Spinoza's ideas were revolutionary in his time, and even today, in the 21st century, they challenge us to look at reality through entirely new eyes. In this video, we'll explore the essence of Spinoza's vision, simply yet profoundly, so you can understand what's truly at stake, how it can change your life, and how, through his lens, divinity can be seen in everything around us. It's almost hard to believe that one of history's greatest philosophers could propose something so simple yet so groundbreaking. Spinoza wasn't trying to create a new religion or establish a deity to be worshipped. Instead, he introduced an entirely different perspective. Spinoza invites us to let go of the idea of a God who is separate from the world, an external being watching from afar, and to embrace the idea that God is everything that exists. God, in Spinoza's view, is immanent, present in every atom, every thought, every motion of the cosmos. God is the universe itself. So what does it mean for God to be immanent? For Spinoza, it means that God isn't outside the world, nor above it. He doesn't reside in some far-off heaven or intervene in human affairs as a separate, conscious entity. Instead, God is the very substance of the universe, the underlying essence that upholds everything. Picture a vast ocean. No matter where you look, it's all water. The waves may rise, fall, and shift, but the essence remains the same. Spinoza's God is like that ocean. Every tree, every star, every creature, each is a wave in this vast divine sea. There is nothing outside or beyond this. For Spinoza, God and the world are not two separate things. There isn't a creator who built the universe and then left it to run. God is not distant or transcendent. God is everything. He is the single substance that unites all of existence. In his masterwork Ethics, Spinoza goes even further. God is causa sui, the cause of himself. He exists by his own nature, dependent on nothing outside of him. He is eternal, unchanging. And once we grasp this, we begin to realize we're not separate from God. We are expressions of this divine substance. Like waves in the ocean, we rise and fall, but our essence remains the same as the source we come from. Spinoza challenges us to recognize the sacredness of the world around us. Trees, rivers, stars, these aren't just natural phenomena. They are manifestations of God. The divine is not something we seek in distant realms. It's already here, now, in every breath and every moment of life. This immanent God doesn't demand worship, but understanding. Not devotion through ritual, but recognition of oneness. True spirituality, according to Spinoza, isn't about worshiping a distant being. It's about understanding the universal order and recognizing that we are part of a far greater whole. If God is in everything, then everything is sacred. There is no division between the human and the divine, between matter and spirit. All that exists is an expression of God. When you contemplate nature, the cosmos, or life itself, you are contemplating the divine. This is Spinoza's call, to awaken to the divine within all things. No ceremonies are needed to reach God, for He is already within you. What's needed is an awakening, a realization that God isn't out there, God is the very fabric of reality itself. When we look beyond appearances and begin to perceive the unity that underlies everything, we begin to grasp the true meaning of the divine. This, for Spinoza, is worship, not through rituals or dogma, but through deep understanding. To truly understand Spinoza's God, we must explore one of the core pillars of his philosophy, the concept of a single substance. What does this mean? Rather than seeing the world as made up of many different things, separate entities, forces, or materials, Spinoza invites us to perceive the unity beneath it all. This unity is the divine substance that makes up all of reality. Substance, to Spinoza, is that which exists by itself, dependent on nothing else. Everything we see, feel, think, or experience is an expression of this single, infinite substance, God or nature, Deus sive natura. There is no world outside this substance. Everything is within it. Imagine again a flowing river. The water appears in waves, currents, and stillness. Every drop is part of the whole. So it is with us and the universe. Everything that exists is a ripple of the same divine substance. Spinoza rejected the idea that reality is made up of multiple separate principles. He insisted that there is only one underlying essence, one unified substance. In his words, nothing can be or exist without substance, for substance is the cause and foundation of everything. It's not easy to grasp because we're used to dividing the world, spirit and matter, soul and body, human and divine. But Spinoza tells us, these divisions are illusions. When we can see the whole universe as one indivisible substance, all categories fall away. The body isn't separate from the soul. The human isn't separate from the divine. Everything is one. This understanding is called monism, the belief that all of reality is one single, unified thing. But this unity isn't just an abstract philosophical idea. For Spinoza, this substance is here and now, present in everything we see and touch. Although this divine substance is one, Spinoza says it manifests in different ways. He uses the concept of attributes to explain this. Substance has infinite attributes, but human beings can only grasp two: extension and thought. Extension is the physical world, everything material that we can see, touch, and experience. Thought is the mental world, our consciousness, our ideas, our emotions. Though they seem different, both are simply two aspects of the same divine reality. Mind and matter are not separate. They are two expressions of the same thing. This vision of God is often described as pantheism, from the Greek pan, everything, and theos, God. For Spinoza, God is nature, and nature is God. The world wasn't created by God. It is the manifestation of God. When you look at the stars, the earth, other people, you are looking at God in expression. Now, what about freedom? Spinoza's view on freedom and determinism is just as radical. He believed that everything in the universe is determined by a chain of cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. So where does that leave human freedom? For Spinoza, true freedom isn't the absence of determination. It's the ability to act in harmony with nature and reason. Freedom is not doing whatever we want. It's understanding why we want what we want. It's recognizing the causes behind our emotions and choices. We become truly free when we act with awareness, guided by reason, not driven blindly by passions. The more we understand the forces shaping us, our biology, past, environment, the more we can live consciously. Most people, Spinoza says, live in slavery, ruled by passions and illusions. We think we're free, but really, we're just reacting to forces we don't understand. Freedom is awareness. Freedom is wisdom. It's the ability to live according to our true nature, aligned with reality. Ultimately, Spinoza invites us to live authentically, in full connection with the universe and with ourselves. So how might Spinoza's ideas transform your own view of life? Can you begin to align more deeply with nature and reason? Can you recognize the sacred in the ordinary? Share your thoughts and reflections below, and if you found this meaningful, pass it on to someone else. Subscribe to continue this journey, and together, let's live with greater clarity, depth, and truth, guided by the timeless wisdom of Spinoza. Spinoza's God is not a deity of thunder and commandments, but the quiet, constant presence woven into the fabric of being. Not a ruler above creation, but the pulse within it. He does not speak from mountaintops or burn in bushes, but whispers through the wind, the rhythm of rivers, the spiral of galaxies, and the silence between heartbeats. This is not a God to be worshipped through fear or flattery, but one to be known through understanding. To know God, in Spinoza's vision, is to know the order of things, the necessity in their becoming. To awaken is to see. There is no divide between the sacred and the profane. All is sacred because all is one. You are not separate from this divinity. You are not a soul trapped in a body or a stranger in the cosmos. You are a mode of God, a ripple in the infinite substance that thinks and extends. Your thoughts are not isolated. They are waves of the same ocean that gives rise to trees and stars. And though we perceive only two of God's infinite attributes, thought and extension, that is enough to grasp the unity at the core of all things. Body and mind, matter and spirit, are not two realms in conflict, but two faces of the same eternal substance. To live freely, in Spinoza's sense, is not to act without cause, but to act with understanding. Freedom is not found in rebellion against the laws of nature, but in aligning with them, living in accordance with what is, rather than what we wish to be. Who knows his desires are not sovereign, but shaped by infinite threads of cause, and in this knowing, he is not enslaved, but liberated, not because he controls the world, but because he understands his place within it. This is the path Spinoza invites us to walk, a path of clarity, humility, and deep reverence, to see the face of God not in temples or scriptures, but in the unfolding of each moment, in the structure of a leaf, in the logic of a theorem, in the laughter of a child, and in your own reflection. There is no need to climb toward heaven when heaven is already here, in this breath, in this being, in this eternal now. So what does it mean to live with Spinoza's God? It means to live awake, to see through the illusion of separation and embrace the profound unity of all things. It is to trade fear for understanding, ritual for realization, and to meet life not as something to conquer, but as something sacred, something whole, something divine. Spinoza does not ask you to believe, he asks you to see that you are not apart from the universe, but a necessary part of it. That in knowing yourself, you begin to know God. Not a God above, but the God within and throughout. This is not just philosophy, it is a way of being, a quiet revolution of perception, where everything becomes holy, because nothing is outside the one. May you walk through the world with new eyes, clear, connected, and free. Thanks for watching.